YouTube, what is going on? Your boy T Davis is back again, and we are on to week 7. Oh my goodness, week 7 already here. The season is just flying by right now. Week 7, we've had 6 profitable weeks. Just been insane. This NFL season has just been amazing on Draftkings and Fanduel. Been grinding it hard, and it's paid dividends. So I'm having a blast doing these videos as well. We're going to break down week 7 Thursday Night Football. A lot of stuff to kind of break down in this matchup. We got a lot of injuries for both teams. It's kind of a low-scoring type of game. Like I said, these teams are banged up. A lot of guys, backups going to be playing, so we're going to break all that down. Of course, make sure you guys go ahead and give this video a like, comment down below if you guys think I missed anyone here, or let me know who you're playing down below, and of course, subscribe to the channel here. Plenty of daily fantasy football, and pro Madden player content all over the YouTube channel here, so make sure you're checking out the YouTube, hitting that bell so you're notified when I do drop all this content. Of course, check out my partnership with ThriveFantasy.com. Use that code TDavis. You get a 100% deposit bonus match. So, let's jump right into it now, though. Let's go to the Denver side first. We will start there. A lot of this team is banged up here. You see Teddy Bridgewater. I'm willing to say he will for certain start on Thursday, but I got to think Teddy Bridgewater will be under center. I really think he's going to play. He's going to tough it through. He's a tough guy. He's kind of fought through a lot of injuries in his career. Not an easy matchup at all here on the road against Cleveland. They're underdogs. I believe the total on this game is only like 42, so I don't love Bridgewater in this spot. Now, look, if you're playing some cash games, Teddy Bridgewater is one of the safest plays in the slate for sure. I just don't see a lot of upside in this matchup. If for upside, I'm going to be leaning more towards the receivers, the pass catchers in the captain spot in tournaments. But in cash games, when you're talking about 50-50s, double-ups, head-to-heads, Bridgewater is fine in the flex spot, in my opinion, very safe. So a couple of the guys that I lean towards in captain spots when I'm looking for big upside, Courtland Sutton, right here, the number 1 receiver for the Denver Broncos. Back-to-back weeks over double-digit targets, close to 100 yards again last week. Tougher matchup here against Cleveland, but I do think he can win against their secondary. So I think Bridgewater is going to have to target him, especially if Jerry Jeudy is he might play this week. They said a less than 50% chance that he'll suit up in this matchup. So we got to keep an eye out on the news for Jerry Jeudy. If he's ruled out, Sutton is a great play. If Judy's back, kind of hurts some of these pass catchers for Denver. So I do like Sutton a lot, though. He's one of my favorite targets on the Denver side. Noah Fant absolutely went off last week, 11 targets, almost 100 yards, and a receiving touchdown. And, man, we know the talent that is there for Noah Fant. Just can he get more opportunities in kind of a low-volume passing attack here for Denver? Denver wants to run the ball. They want to play defense. They like to, it's like slug-it-out type of games with them. So, but Fant, just taking a look at this, as far as highest upside receivers go, it's definitely Fant and Sutton. And those are my two main guys that I would target on the Denver side, especially if Judy's out. If Jeudy plays, I think he's going to be limited. It's a tough play for me here. The price is dropped, but he's a tough sell for me at $8,000. And he's going to probably play less than 50% of the snaps, I would assume. He's going to be too banged up, hasn't practiced in a while. So I think that's a tough sell for me there, Jerry Jeudy. Tim Patrick, big body receiver here. You can definitely take a look on him. He's probably the third option I would go to on Denver if Judy's out. He can get you some of those. He can get some touchdowns. He's a big red zone target. He's been getting a decent amount of volume, some decent amount of targets. Gotten to 100 yards almost twice this year. Not a bad play at all. Tim Patrick, definitely take a look at. Now the tough part is Gordon and Javonte Williams. They basically are in a 50-50 timeshare, which really hurts them. They're going to be trailing in this matchup. So I don't love either of them. If you're going to play them, definitely max one of them. So if you're using an optimizer, tell the optimizer, okay, I only want to play either one of Gordon or Javonte Williams. If you're hand building, obviously you only want to play one of them. And I probably won't have either of them in my captain spots. If you're playing like 100 lineups, sure, you can mix them in your captain spots. But like I said, only play one of either Gordon and Williams, just because I don't think both of them in the same lineup, they don't have the upside to get there to their ceiling that we look for. So I would just play one of them if you're going to play them at all. Kicker, McManus, he's fine. He's one of the better kickers, one of the biggest legs in the NFL. I don't think they're going to score a lot of points, but they could settle for a lot of 50-yard field goals. And in that case, he's a safe value here at $4,200. Broncos defense, I think, is somewhat interesting. If Baker Mayfield doesn't play, in case Keenum's in there, I like the Broncos defense even more. I still relatively like them. I like both defenses in this matchup here, low scoring. Neither quarterback, is that great. that kind of can get a lot of sacks. The running game's banged up. So I like both defenses. Kendall Hinton, he's kind of the de facto number 3 receiver for Denver. The guy who played quarterback last year for this team. And he got 5 targets last week, and he's relatively cheap here at $2,000. So if Judy is out again, and only if Judy is out, you can play Kendall Hinton at $2,000. If Judy's playing, I don't play Kendall Hinton at all. But if Judy is out again, then Kendall Hinton you can take a look at for some value here at $2,000. I think he's one of the better values probably on the slate. Now, another interesting value here is Eric Saubert. Now, Albert O for the Denver Broncos, one of the highly touted rookie tight ends or second-year tight end, he's out for a while, so Saubert has become the de facto number 2 tight end here. Got 5 targets last week, and only at $600 here, one of the cheapest values, basically almost minimum price. This is a guy we can take a look at, especially if you're playing a lot of lineups here. Almost minimum price, and if he gets you 5 targets again, he pays off that price. So Saubert is a guy that I will look at as well. If Judy is out again, they might go more 2 tight end sets. A couple other guys, cheap guys you can take a look at, but really, really thin options. If you don't want to play Kendall Hinton, you can take a look at Tyree Cleveland and John Brown. John Brown, who's been a journeyman in the NFL, he's had a couple good seasons, but they're both on the practice squad right now, so keep an eye out to see between Cleveland, David Moore, and John Brown who gets elevated for Thursday night. I think whichever one you do see is active, you can take some chances on if you're playing a lot of lineups. Looked like last week it was Cleveland and Brown that got a couple of snaps out there. So it's a super thin play. Don't love it. Very risky. But if you're playing, like I said, a lot of lineups, you can throw, and definitely only play one of these guys. I wouldn't play more 2 of these guys in your lineup at all. Make sure you max just one so that your lineups will have only one of these guys in there. But it's really thin. But if Judy is out, and check out which one of these guys is active, you can definitely take some chances on them. But my overall favorite plays for Denver is definitely Sutton, Fant, and Patrick, because I think they're going to be trailing in this game. They're going to have to pass the ball, and if they can get you a touchdown or maybe 2, they can have some decent upside for you. Now, let's go to the Cleveland side here. Baker Mayfield, he's banged up, man. He's got a torn left shoulder, labrum, something like that. You can just tell he's really banged up. They said there's a chance he might not play in this matchup. I think he will play. But if he doesn't play, of course, Case Keenum, a little bit more of a discount. And I think Case Keenum has a decent rushing floor, too. Like, he's going to scramble. He can get you 20, 30 yards on the ground. That's an extra 2-3 points right there. So either quarterback is in play, especially when we're talking cash games. Relatively safe. As far as the receiver and running back position for Cleveland, man, it is rough. Kareem Hunt just got put on IR. Nick Chubb was ruled out for Thursday's matchup. So that takes us to Demetric Felton and D'Ernest Johnson. It's going to be a 50-50 split here, looks like. I do lean D'Ernest Johnson as he's more of the main running back. Felton doesn't play a lot of running back snaps. They kind of move him around. They kind of bring him out. They put him out at receiver. To me, he gives me those Reggie Bush vibes. I think he has a lot of talent. He's kind of quick and shifty. So you'll definitely see more of him in this game, and I think he's going to get a lot of third down snaps. He's going to be the guy that they're going to throw the ball to out of the backfield. He's going to get some targets. They might move him out to receiver because the receivers are banged up. But D'Ernest Johnson, to me, is a little bit safer because he's going to be the new starting running back, and he's going to get he's probably going to get a decent amount of carries. I would expect him to get at least 12 to 15 carries. And at what's he at? 4,600. That's an absolute steal. So both these guys are in play. And I think you can play them actually together in lineups too. But D'Ernest Johnson is the guy I lean as like the safer option. But Felton, I think, has some decent upside as a pass catcher. So I'll be playing both these guys heavily in this matchup. Let's go back up to receiver here. Landry, we'll keep an eye on. They actually said he might have a chance to play Thursday. If he has a chance to play Thursday, he's an absolute slam dunk at 6,600. So he could be taken off IR. We got to keep an eye on for that. Keep an eye open for that. Odell Beckham, he's banged up. He might not play Thursday too. So we got to just monitor this news. If either of these guys play, so if one of them play and the other doesn't, then that play is really good. If both of them play, I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. If both of them play, though, it hurts Peoples-Jones, Anthony Schwartz, and Rashard Higgins. If they're both ruled out, then Peoples-Jones, Schwartz, and Rashard Higgins all become very interesting and really in play at cheaper prices. So it's hard to predict now 2 days out. We need to see a lot of the news come out for these receiving corps. So make sure you guys are on Twitter, following all the news for the receivers. Like I said, Peoples-Jones becomes a really good play if both those guys are ruled out. He played a lot of snaps last week. But same thing with Rashard Higgins and Anthony Schwartz. These guys are going to be out there for a lot of snaps as well, and they're very cheap here. Schwartz is only $1,200. So if Beckham and Landry don't play, Schwartz might be a lock here at 1,200. Guy has a lot of speed. Higgins kind of like that possession receiver, who I don't mind his price at all, too, if those guys are ruled out. Now, if they both play, it kind of hurts the upside of all three of these guys, so I'll probably stay away, even including Peoples-Jones, because they go a lot of two tight end sets. So if Beckham and Landry play, it takes me off of Peoples-Jones for sure, and it probably takes me off Higgins and Schwartz as well. So keep an eye out on that injury news. The tight ends are kind of a toss-up. Austin Hooper actually got more snaps than Njoku, and he's way down here at 3,800. So I like Austin Hooper a decent amount here. Njoku's pretty banged up, and his price is way too elevated. So Hooper is the tight end that I would target. I'll also take a look at the kicker, McLaughlin, and the defense for the Browns. I think both those are in play as well. They should be able to hold the Broncos to not a lot of scoring, and they should be able to put up somewhat a decent amount of points where they can kick some field goals with McLaughlin to pay off that salary. So I think this whole slate comes down to this Browns receivers and running backs. We need to find out the news on the receivers, and we know what to do now with Felton and Johnson. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a very interesting slate here on Thursday. Kind of a boring game, but as far as DFS goes, there could be potentially a lot of value on this slate that makes it very interesting. So like I said, make sure you guys give this a like. Comment down below if you think I missed anyone or what you guys are thinking for these receivers. Of course, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, your boy T. Davis is out.